Hey guys, what's going on? You're watching the Bitter Jury podcast. It's been forever and a day, but we are back.
We're back. I think we're the only thing that is less consistent than the Big Brother Canada live feeds.
Hey,
So there's that. But we're
yeah,
back to talk some Big Brother Canada live feeds, some of the first impressions of some of the house guests on the show, the episodes, Arissa Cox, all of the things Big Brother Canada.
yeah. By the
I'm
way,
excited.
episode 58. Sorry, just forgot to
Episode
say that.
58.
I can't
It feels
believe it.
it feels like we've done 57 and then like waited 2 years to do episode 58. It feels like it's
That's
been so long.
exactly what it feels like. And it's kind of because, like, okay, we got through 2 seasons, so that made, like, 2 actual seasons. So,
Yeah.
like, we have winter, and then, well, more winter.
Yes.
I guess fall. There we go, fall, and then winter. And so now we're in spring, and
Mhm.
and here we are again, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. I'm gonna. You have an sort of an announcement to make as far as where our
Uh,
videos have gone. We need to talk about that a little
So
bit.
I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned it here on the podcast that I'm a teacher.
Yes.
And one day in the beginning of the school year, like about 2 weeks into the school year, my class came in and they rushed into my classroom and they were
Yeah.
like, they were like, teacher, teacher, except they used my name, teacher, teacher, teacher.
Yeah.
We found your YouTube channel. And I was just like, what? And they had found it.
Yeah.
So that was like when school had started. So when recess happened, a couple hours later, I called Jacob very frantically and I was like,
Yeah.
Jacob, you need to put all of the videos on private right now. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's why they're on private. But like it's toward the end of the school year where I don't really have to worry about this as much anymore. So we're
Right.
after this podcast is over. We're going to put our videos right back up. That way,
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you want to watch them,
Yeah.
like you can, because I know we're so amazing.
Yeah. We're the best. We're so good at being inconsistent. We've had like 6 different people on the podcast for like 3 episodes apiece.
hmm
That's pretty impressive. I like that.
I would like to say though, we are consistent with us.
Yeah.
Like not almost every single episode. It's always been us,
Yeah.
which
I
is
think
pretty
I think I've
amazing.
missed one episode, and I think you missed one episode, and that's been about it.
Yeah, that balances out in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
Right.
I'm cool. I'm good to go
Yeah.
with that.
Absolutely. So should we jump right into Big Brother Canada 7?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. One other thing, and I really should address this because
Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with this before. Is because I'm burping so much, and that's just gonna pop up. It's because I'm pregnant, so that's
Oh
something
yeah.
else that's different. Which Jacob,
Yeah.
you already knew that,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely. Shock
so
face.
yeah. So if you like, if I'm just burping, I'm probably not gonna say excuse me because I burp at least 50 times a day.
Yeah.
So just like that's why the burping is happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Hey,
I
so
think you have the ultimate excuse for that, so
I
it's
think
fine.
I do too. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Big Brother Canada. Did
Yeah.
Jacob, before we get into the episodes, did you read up on any of the house guests before watching the episodes?
All of them obsessively. I is always the answer to that sort of question. I am more invested into Big Brother than I've ever been in the past, and
It's pretty
it,
wonderful.
it's great. I love this cast. I think Big Brother Canada does a really good job of being really inclusive and bringing in a whole bunch of different people from different backgrounds. And I'm not just saying this as somebody who, a California lefty. I just think it's really cool that we have people that are fundamentally different from each other having to live together and having to learn from each other. Like,
hmm
I think something that is really, really cool is that people are, sort of confronted with somebody who's non-binary for the first time ever in Big Brother history,
hmm
and you see on the live feeds people are catching themselves when they're accidentally misgendering and trying to be sensitive, and you see
Some
Uh,
people more than others, from
Kira
what I've
on the
heard.
right. Kira on the other end being really, really understanding when when somebody accidentally makes a mistake, and I think it's really good for the public discourse to see this sort of representation on the screen. But
I 100% like 1,000 actually 1,000% agree with that.
yeah,
I'm gonna up myself by the power of 10. But I would also like to point out, and this is just on a diversity note, I really don't remember the last time that we had more than one Asian person in the house. And it's kind of nice
yeah,
having, because like, I mean, just to go off that whole diversity thing, like you're seeing like it's not just like, oh, one or two black people, one Asian
yeah,
person maybe,
yeah.
and one or two Hispanic people, and then the rest are white. Like you have
Right.
a very ethnically diverse house, which
Yeah,
I think is really, really awesome as well. And that just goes into that whole discourse of
yeah,
you're going to be seeing these conflicts, or you're going to be seeing these conflicts and these conversations that happen, and it's going to be really, really interesting. So
yeah.
I'm really excited about that too.
Absolutely. And I think it helps sort of dispel like the token casting that
Mm-hmm.
we often sort of get when it comes to all of Big Brother casting. Now, casting in Big Brother Canada is generally better, but yeah, they've done a good job. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, this season, wouldn't be Big Brother Canada without some insane twists, or as they're calling them this season, blindsides for some reason.
I know. Isn't that weird? Like, why
Like,
are they calling it Of course, they're also calling the house guest agents, but
right.
that's more on point
Theme, yeah,
with the
right.
theme. Like blindsides, that's not a theme.
No, it's not okay, because I think what happens is that people get tired of twists, so, like, what else can we call them? Oh, let's call them blindsides, which a blindside is a very specific thing in Big Brother,
Mhm.
so I think kind of trying to rebrand a twist into a blindside doesn't make much sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I really agree with that. I mean, I already like I wouldn't call myself a purist, but I definitely I like terminology being used the correct way when it
yeah,
comes to Big Brother.
right,
Like with the term backdoor.
mhm,
That's used very, very liberally when it's a very specific term where you put someone up on the block who did not play veto, who I mean, I think that's it. Like sometimes you can also
yeah,
include they weren't expecting to go up on the block,
right,
but they did not get a chance to play in veto, and then they are the replacement nominee.
yep,
So for me, I don't like this idea of reframing it from twist to blindside, because that's not a blindside.
right,
Like a blindside, I mean, yeah, you're not expecting it, but a blindside typically that means that you're being kicked out of the house.
right,
Like
yeah,
that's what a blindside is.
right.
Or you're having a major I mean, we might
You're
even
you're you
expand it more.
Right, your game is fundamentally changed by something that you weren't expecting to happen.
Mhm. And I
And
just that has to do with the players though,
right,
not production.
right, exactly.
And so
Um,
go ahead.
so it's like, yeah, it just fundamentally kind of it's one of those weird things where you kind of sound like we kind of sound like purists, but like it's just a kind of a weird change in terminology, and I think it's kind of cheap. But
Mhm.
the first blind side of the season is we get to send in one house guest early, and for some reason Canada chose
Damien.
Damien,
Mhm.
who you know Damien is Damien. He seems cool.
Yeah.
He seems kind of boring.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it had to do with like they found Damien the most boring, so they wanted him to give him the first in curse. But that's been broken by
No.
Tamar if you
Yeah.
if you're into that sort of thing. But I mean, I don't.
Are we including Celebrity Big Brother with the
I
whole first
I
anchors?
I guess I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't. Um,
Okay.
but Damien gets to go in the house and learn information early for like 5 minutes. It seems like. And he doesn't learn anything really interesting. I don't think.
I disagree about that
Mm,
because
okay.
he learned with Adam and Dane, and how Adam's goal was to create a 4-person guy alliance.
Right.
So that gave him a very strong intel of like, okay, these people are playing right off the bat.
Right.
It also gave him intel on like who was aligning with whom,
Right.
right away, like who's playing the game like right out the bat. I think if maybe it had been a different person that had gone into the house, like that information could have been used more appropriately. But it's just like, it's kind of just like he was given this information, which he could have used really, really greatly potentially. He had the potential to be amazing with, I mean, it's still like, it's not a lot, but at least it's more than like what other people had. Like,
right.
Kira or whoever else didn't get to see that conversation go down versus he did. So it possibly could have prepared him for what his strategy was going into the game.
Right. What did you think of the twist in general?
So which one?
The send, yeah, right. The send somebody in, show them a fake veto, and then, or not a fake veto, but a veto they can't get right away.
So I thought that it could have been very interesting until they revealed one of the rooms for the twist, like basically in the second episode. Do you know what I'm talking about? So like in the second episode, like, everyone found that information room.
Right.
And they didn't find the other one. But I mean, like, otherwise, really there's no other reason to go into the house.
Right.
Like going around just to look at the other rooms. Like it I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's probably too late to jump into like a draft sort of situation because we're down one house guest. But was there anybody going into the season that you thought, wow, I'm really liking this person. This person's gonna, do really well. Like who?
This is so funny because normally we have like you said, normally we have that whole draft and everything, and so it's just we're just choosing one person. I honestly, and I know she's probably she might not win, but I had a very strong feeling from Asian Kira, which most people have been calling her Kiki in the house. So that's just what we're gonna call her because there's two Kiras. So I had a really strong feeling from Kiki. I thought that she was gonna do really well in the game. So yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I really liked Kiki a lot, but my favorite person I think going into the house was Steph. Or is Steph.
Oh, that's so funny because they're like really close.
Yeah, the reason I think I kind of gravitated to Steph preseason was that she reminded me a lot of Paris. In her
Looks like her too.
She kind of looks like her too, which is weird, but like she's got a lot of the same mannerisms and a lot of the same. She talked a lot about like wanting to lay low and like kind of be social, and I mean I think that archetype is never really in any danger. So I think that she is or was really well set up going into the house, and I think she's only sort of built on that from there.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. The only thing that like I held back a little bit on her was because I'm pretty sure she said that she didn't want, or like she talked about how she didn't want people to know that she was a psych major.
Oh,
that's what and like that always just makes me laugh when people are like, I don't want you to know that I'm a psych major, because being a psych major for your undergrad, it literally does not do anything. Like you don't have any kind of benefit whatsoever from it.
People act like people that major in psychology can read minds, and that's not how anything works.
Yeah. Now, if she was like getting her master's in like therapy or something like that, like that would be a little more intimidating, because therapists are a lot better at like picking up on vibes and like being able to communicate and connect with people. Like that one I would take a little more seriously, but getting your undergrad, no, that's like, it made me laugh. And so that's why,
Yeah, that's like saying I like French fries. It's like, it's a very, it doesn't give away any information. It's like, you and like 5 million other people are also psych majors, and they're not misses. I mean, if you're a psych major, no shots fired, but like, it's not
It's not
uniquely
something that will
special.
help you in Big Brother.
Right. And it's not even that special to be a psych major. Anybody can
Mhm.
choose to be one, and then,
And just go do the work.
right. Um, but yeah, I mean, uh, before we get into more house guests, let's talk about that second twist though, which I thought was really fun. The let's reveal all of the secrets of the people
Oh
that
my God, yes.
are
I love that twist. So my jaw dropped as
yeah,
soon as Arissa said that she was going to be revealing everything. I was just like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!"
yeah. It was great. I mean, some people got way more screwed than other people.
Looking at
But
you, Kiki.
but I mean, I thought it was really fun. I mean, I thought um like I what's her Kaylin, she was a waxologist and it turns out she's a psychic.
Well,
Um
the way that she could recover from that, because she didn't say I am a psychic for a living. She
right.
said I do readings.
Yep.
So I like if I was her, I'd be like, "Oh, I do that on the side.
Right.
Like that's my passion."
It's a fun side hobby that I do because
Exactly.
um yeah, I mean, and then some people said that they're a really good liar. Who said
That
they
was
were
Kiki. That
yeah,
was, and that's why I'm not sure if she's gonna win after that comes out. Like, I 100% would not trust anyone. Like, that would be my first target, like right off the
sure.
bat. The person who says in secret, like to production,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm a really good liar." Like, no, I'm gonna get you out. Sorry, sweetie.
Right, right. Somebody that I thought that I wasn't gonna like that I am liking a lot now is what's his name? Let me pull up the
Dane.
cast. No, Dan.
Oh,
Dan.
good, because I'm not partial to him right now. I
Eddie,
don't know.
Eddie, Eddie.
Oh, explain more because I don't
I
know much about him.
I love Eddie. Like Eddie would be my best friend if
Yeah.
like um he's so ridiculous. He says that he doesn't like to talk to people, but he doesn't stop talking. He says that he's very shy, but he just doesn't stop talking about himself. He's very sort of um he's self-interested and it's great to watch
Mhm.
because like he does have a very inspirational story, but you can see that like 5 minutes into it, people aren't as into it as they were 5 minutes ago.
Mhm.
And it's wonderful to watch him like think that he's pulling the wool over everybody's eyes with his stories. And it's just great.
Oh.
He's such a mess, but nobody thinks of him as a threat, which is
Oh,
really
it's gotta be his accent.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. He's
I'll have to keep my eye on him then. That was another person though that he got a little messed up by the secrets being revealed
yeah,
because he said that he was a social media manager and then it came
yeah,
out that he was a cryptocurrency developer, aka Bitcoin person.
yeah. He's a
Um,
just means you're a Bitcoin bro. Like, I mean,
yeah. Don't use all this fancy terminology. It's like
yeah,
saying that you're a psych major.
right, exactly. You're a Bitcoin bro, and like, the thing, the thing
Ah.
about Eddie that kind of confuses me is he said in his pregame interviews, that he thinks he's the smartest person in the room, but he said also in the pregame interviews that if you want $100,000, he would invest all of it into Bitcoin, which
Wow.
those two things kind of don't go hand in hand. If you're the smartest person in a room, you're not going to take $100,000 and put it into Bitcoin.
Hell no.
But more
Wow.
power to him.
Okay, if that's what you're gonna do with your life, man.
But he's telling the house guests that he's going to repay his parents for paying for his education.
Okay. That's a
Yeah,
pretty solid like cover up
right.
story.
Yeah. Because like he told what's her name, the one that came in late, the everybody loves, who
Corey. I
Corey.
remember that because people on Reddit are making jokes about Corey in the House, like the TV
Yeah,
show from
yeah,
Disney Channel.
yes. Um, yeah. So he told Corey, he said, that his parents financed his education, and it was really expensive, and they don't really have a life outside of him.
Mhm.
And he wants them to be able to live their own lives, and so he wants to be able to repay them for the education. And she ate it up, and she used that moment to create one of her final 2 deals that she
Oh,
had to
yeah.
make. But yeah, I mean, I think Eddie's probably in a pretty strong spot,
Good. That's awesome.
and he's been really entertaining. I love the moment in the episode where he like tells Adam that he's really attractive. Um, and
Yeah. It's like
and then
you're the, eye
eye
candy of the
candy,
house.
yeah, the eye candy of the house, and then like 2 seconds later in the diary room, he's like, "Yeah, I think he's ugly actually," which I think is the best thing in the world because like
Oh,
Adam is
man.
very objectively not an ugly person
Yeah.
physically. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's hilarious.
Oh, man.
But yeah, these house guests are quite something. I wish that Dane would keep his teeth in.
I
Um,
know. I get that he has every right to take them out, and he got it
right,
from playing hockey, which is a very common,
right,
not only like a common injury from playing hockey, but just I would imagine a common Canadian injury just because
yeah,
there's so many hockey players up there.
right,
But it's still very uncomfortable to look at with his
right.
gums, how they are.
Yeah, right,
And
and
I
it
think,
gives him a lisp. I mean, and
oh, that's right.
the lisp might help him with his goal of sounding dumb, which I
Mhm,
think is what he wants. Um, but it's very jarring to look at.
mhm,
I'm glad he hasn't put them in and taken them out on camera again since he did that the first night. But
mhm.
man, I hate that.
Yeah,
Like,
I really sympathized with Chelsea, I think her name
yeah,
is. The one that, is the not the beauty queen. She was,
yeah,
like, in the pageant
yeah,
circuit,
right, yeah,
and, like, she seemed to be, like, vibing on Dane, and then as soon as Dane took his teeth out,
yeah.
she's like, "Oh, Dane, no."
No, honey, no.
No.
Yeah,
Like, I totally agree with her.
yeah,
It's uncomfortable, and I'm sure
right,
that he obviously, he doesn't wanna look like that. I mean, I
right,
wouldn't.
right.
He's obviously very comfortable
Yeah,
with those injuries and looking like
mhm,
how he looks,
yeah.
and that's great for him.
Mhm.
I
I'm
just
happy
don't
for
wanna
him. I
I
just
don't
don't
wanna
wanna look at it.
yeah, I don't wanna constantly look at it for the next 70
Right.
days, or I guess 68 days or whatever.
It's like when your, like, grandparents have false teeth and they take them out to do something, you're just
Mhm.
like, you don't wanna watch them do that. It's just
Yeah.
kinda like, I'd rather you have your teeth in. Like, I'm glad
Mhm.
that you're comfortable, but
Yeah.
please put your teeth back in and keep it that way. Like
Yeah.
like, I could understand, like, having them out for premiere night because that's what got you cast, and it's part
It's
of
like
what
a
got right. "Ooh, this is my party trick," you know?
Mhm,
It's like, but put the teeth back in, please.
mhm,
It makes you easier to understand for the people watching the live feeds, and, you know, it's, uh, not a great look. I mean,
mhm.
he sounds like do you watch Bob's Burgers?
I don't watch Bob's Burgers, I need to, but I haven't
He
watched it yet.
he sounds like Jimmy Jr., on Bob's Burgers. There's a character that's got a lisp on Bob's Burgers,
Mhm,
and he sounds exactly like that. Like, his speaking voice sounds exactly like that person,
mhm.
so when he and that character in that cartoon loves to dance. So, he was up in the HOH room today dancing to his iPod because he was trying to de-stress, and I couldn't think of anything else but that character from Bob's Burgers because he was just going crazy dancing, and he sounds exactly like that character, so
Wow.
it's
We can dress
crazy.
up as him for Halloween. No.
Yeah, we should, it would be very, it would be very convincing, I think. Um, oh, we have to talk about Fessy 2.0. Let's talk about Fessy 2.0.
That is Anthony, right?
No,
No.
no,
Okay. Who's Fessy 2.0?
Adam. Adam is Fessy
Oh my
2.0
god, with Sam.
with Sam, yes.
Oh,
So so
no.
the edited version of that happening, they're in a showmance, by the way.
Oh, I 1,000% figured. I think I read something about how Adam was telling Samantha very, like, non-emotionally that he really, really wanted to kiss her,
Right.
but it was
Um,
non-emotional,
well,
so that's what made it funny.
what's good about that is that, he says he wanted to kiss her, and, she said, "Well, you're gonna have to tell me next time." Like so there's not really, like, this, like, chemistry thing that's happening, but they
Mhm,
have this very, like, possessive view of each other, which is really gross to watch. Um, so like the edited version of the episode was like, showing what's her name?
Samantha.
Sam, showing Sam like being very interested, and he was kind of like, nah. But like, I turn on the feeds as soon as they come on, and he's mad about her cuddling with Dane, and I just had Fessy flashbacks of
Really?
the hammock, and she's like, "Oh, I won't do that anymore. It's not very respectful to you." And like, I don't want you to cuddle with Kiki either. Can you not do that? And so they're just both very possessive after 6 days, which is not great.
Yeah.
Because it's affecting strategy. Like, there's
Mhm.
talk now of Sam going up um, as a replacement nom this week if the vetoes won. But
Mhm.
before we can talk about that, we have to talk about last week and Laura.
Yeah. Oh, Laura. Oh, Laura.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't.
because we can't know what
Right,
happened in the house.
right,
I would like to hope that Laura just didn't recognize that Sam and Adam were as close as they were.
right.
And that's why she threw Sam under the bus.
So
Because if she did,
yeah,
that's so stupid.
so here's, I guess, what the actual situation is, because there was two house meetings that weren't turned on in the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what happened was that uh, um, Sam, when she first came into the house, was like, "Hey, screw all these guys. I want to create this like girls' alliance. I want to take these three girls."
No, the first one that does the Girls Alliance is out.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Okay,
So
keep going.
I want to take these three girls, and I think it was Kiki. It was it was her. It was
Steph,
Steph, and it was what's Sam. Okay, Sam, Steph, Kiki, and her. So it was four of them,
Sam, Steph. Okay, Sam, Steph, Kiki, and her. Okay.
and the there was four of them, and oh no, so Sam, Steph, Kiki, Laura, yeah, that yeah, and they were like, yeah, screw these guys. I don't want to have like showman's lines. We have to like do this. And then she meets Adam, and Adam's like really attractive, and and things happen, and Laura just like was like, hey, you told us girls till the end, and now you're with this dude and you won't even talk to me, and like, so it was like this jealousy thing where she couldn't.
Oh.
Right. um
Okay.
and because there's a 9-person mega alliance, um she wasn't able to really talk to anyone about her place in the game. And so she felt sort of trapped. She was like, you know, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try to expose how close, Adam and Sam are, and that's going to be my only really out, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But it just looked really bad when they don't show any of that context
Yeah.
on the show. So
Yeah. And I gathered like in between. So why did Laura go up to Adam to begin with? Was it
um,
just to try to like get
It
back
was
at Sam?
it was mostly out of frustration. She was just like, "Hey, listen, um, there's a lot that you don't know about that's going on, and I don't think you can trust Sam because of what she's saying to me, and and Adam, of course, is not buying any of this. He has no reason to. He's got massive numbers,
Yeah.
so he's just like, yeah, you just told me that you're gonna target my homegirl, so like,
Mhm.
see ya."
Which, if it was any other week, I really wish that Laura had just waited like a week to do this
Yeah.
because of there being no veto, which was another blindside twist,
Yeah,
whatever.
and I love that twist.
Yeah, me too.
It makes
Especially
it
for
so
the first week.
they have to actually play for the first HOH instead of
Mhm.
like quote unquote throwing it
Mhm.
to minimize blood. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought Dane got to do wait, is it Dane? No,
Adam.
it's Adam. Sorry, they're so interchangeable that like
Yeah.
got to do exactly what he wanted in sort of forming his version of that season 16 alliance. What was it called?
The Bomb Squad.
Oh, no, it was the other one.
Nightmares.
15, season 15. The
With
one that the one that made it forever, like the one that made it forever without getting targeted. The one where the cowboy. Anyway,
Beast Mode Cowboy.
yeah, that guy. The one that he was in. What was that alliance called? The four of them. It was. Anyway.
Anyway, I don't remember.
So he's gotten to really sort of create that. He's got his four main people. They all have what he grossly refers to as side pieces, which creates this mega alliance plus Kalen, and they have the numbers right now. So that's kind of where the house is at right now. The first night, it was a massive religion talk.
First night of feeds.
On feeds where Mark, because of his religious background, was like, "Hey, let's have a religion debate." For some reason,
and he's the one that came from the Jewish family, but
the
he's
Jewish
not
background.
religious.
Yeah, he's not religious anymore. So they had a big talk about religion in the house, and I thought it was really bad look for him, but apparently it endeared him to a couple of females, and
Okay.
so apparently, he's a ladies' man now, which is not my read. Going in.
Okay.
Like he's ingratiated himself to Kiki and to I'm gonna look back at the house guest list.
Just do that because there's still so many, and it's only like 3 days.
Yeah, to Kiki and Chelsea, I believe. Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea.
I guess him and Chelsea know each other from outside the house or in the same town or something.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's gotten himself in pretty strongly with those people, which is not what I thought was going to happen because he does not like to talk about anybody but himself. He kind of reminds me of Paul a little bit in that he thinks that he's like pulling strings, and I think he's going to get that like devious edit in the show. But I don't think anybody who's watching the live feed should really buy it because none of it's really working. He just sort of is a member of a massive alliance.
Okay. Cool.
But,
I'm curious to see if this 9-person alliance lasts longer than this next week.
Yeah, if this week
should we like pause right here and be like, we're going to talk about spoilers?
Yeah. Let's pause and say,
so we're going to talk about spoilers post episode.
Spoilers for past the episode, probably this week's noms and
HOH winner.
Yeah, HOH winner. So for this week's HOH, they played some sort of golf competition.
Does it seem like it was a crapshoot?
It was some sort of hanging. No, it was some sort of hanging on, but also playing golf thing, where Dane was really impressed with how names.
Adam,
how Eddie performed because they were the last two standing, and Eddie didn't want to give up, and Dane didn't want to give up because Dane wanted to see a picture of his dad, who recently passed away.
That's right. His dad passed away in May. It hasn't even been a year yet. That's really intense.
So Eddie was like, "Yeah, you can have it. Just don't put me up." And they were like, "Yeah, let's be bros." And
that's the public deal that people were talking about.
Right.
Okay.
So there was that deal, and then so Dane wins HOH because Eddie would have won that HOH. He wasn't moving apparently, according to the house guest. I don't know what that means yet, but yeah. So Eddie would have won, but he made the deal with Dane, so Eddie can't be put up. Although his alliance wanted Eddie to be put up. So
assuming that it doesn't happen, I'm glad that Dane won't go back on that final two because it's way the agreement because it's way too early to go back on that.
Yeah, no, he's not going back on that. He has decided that his initial noms are going to be non-binary Kira and Mackie.
Who?
Mackie
Oh
and
my God, Mackie, the guy with the crazy hair.
yeah, the guy that looks like that he would be a character, but he's not. He's really boring. That guy.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
and
The
his
recruit.
yeah, his reasoning is that Kira uh, was really really emotional during the first week before the feeds came on, and like was caught lying about Kaylin, I guess. I
Really?
I don't know what the lie was, um, but Kira has a talk with um, so many people that I get with Steph,
Okay.
and they talk about how they struggle with mental health, and um, you know, their psychologist, was like, "Hey, when you go into this house, it's going to be really rough, but try to work your way through it." And she's got a couple of disorders, and they talk about that. And she goes, "That's why I was really emotional." And she's really trying to pull on like, "Hey, I promise I won't be as emotional going forward. It was just like the first week,
Hmm.
and I just didn't know how to handle my disorders and all of these people
Hmm.
at once, but I promise I'll be better." So she's going around like, or they're going around, saying like, I will do my best to be better, and I know you guys are really doing your best to be accommodating and be really good people. So I mean, um, and there are people that want them to stay, uh, and Mackie is just like playing the I want to be a chill guy vibe, but he's not really offering anything to anyone, so he's just kind of sitting around and not doing much of anything. I know Dane is really nervous for his nomination speech. He doesn't want to give reasons
But
um,
you have to.
for things, and so yeah, he's been sort of pacing and sweating up in his HOH room for for the last hour or so, just sort of
Wow.
waiting for because he feels really bad. Because Kira has been talking about how they want to be this icon for the queer community, and like he likes everybody, so he doesn't want to put people on the block, and but he's gonna have to um, kind of get over it and
Yeah, and play the game.
play the game. But I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. I think the 9-person alliance is really really boring. So I hope the vetoes won because Kiki and Steph are talking about using that opportunity to break up Adam and Sam, which I
Mhm.
think is really interesting. It makes for great feeds.
Yeah, because the sooner that we can get showmances out of the house, the better, because
Right,
that's when like interesting gameplay happens.
right. We don't need another Tyler and
Angela.
Angela situation where people are napping together.
Hmm.
Speaking of naps, there was a fake controversy in the house today, where,
A fake
uh,
controversy?
well, I mean, I guess not in the house, but like how Twitter likes to try to be woke, but they're not.
Yeah.
Um, so there was this clip going around where it looked like Adam said something racially insensitive to Anthony, but it's totally not what he said um, about taking naps. So there was like this doctored clip where Anthony is like, "You're," he says in the doctored clip, it sounds like he says, "You're African, so it makes sense that you take naps 3 times a day." But that's
Okay,
not what he says.
what was actually said?
He said, uh, he said, "You're actually taking a nap. You've already taken a nap 3 times today." Totally different things.
Yeah, that's completely different.
Because I was like, wait, why would he say? There's no
There's no
context,
racial stereotype
right?
for black people taking naps.
Yeah, right. So, and like the total lack of reaction from Anthony doesn't make any sense if that's what
Mhm.
he said. Because
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? If I were Anthony, and I wouldn't say that to Anthony either, because he's 6'4", 280 pounds. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's so ridiculous. God, people.
So
Oh
Big
man.
Brother Twitter that's trying to be like super woke is like, oh, this is so racist, but like, there's problems with Adam anyway, but
Don't need to make them up.
yeah, there's you don't need to make them up.
Just play
So
with what's there.
exactly. But I would say, like, on a whole, I'm way more impressed with the women in the house than I have been with the men so far.
Hmm.
Um, the men just seem kind of boring, and the women seem like they're there to play. I know that Steph and Kiki have both said that they're very, very tired of having to like compliment and flirt with the men,
Hmm.
and
Good.
you know, they're not gonna put up with that for much longer. So it'll be
Good.
kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Nobody, I know that Kaylin is people like her, but they're very suspicious of her right now.
Well, are they suspicious because they think that she's lying about her age or her job or
Well,
her family?
well, all of that. But you know what's really
Oh,
funny?
really?
Yeah, all of that. But also they think that um, Corey is lying about her age. Um,
Do they think that Corey's older? Because Corey
yeah,
does not look 27 or
well,
28, whatever she
she's
is.
29. So
She
the
doesn't look 29.
the house guests think that there's some conspiracy about the number 29 and how they're both lying about their age being 29 because they were told by Big Brother that that's the age that they needed to be because 29 has some significance because they're both lying about their age and they're both 29. That's how bored they are.
Wow. That's so it. Because, I mean, like, I can kind of see the connections because, like, typically the older person is over 30.
Right,
So by saying, and that's just ridiculous. But by saying that, like, you're 29, then you're not in that older person category. Like,
right,
you can't be. So I totally get that.
right.
But
Yeah,
that's funny that they also suspect that like she's not 29, even though she is. Corey is.
yeah,
Because like when I saw Corey, I legitimately thought that she looked to be much older than that. So
right.
that's really interesting that they think that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting dynamics in this house. I really like the social dynamic so far. It's been really fun to watch. I think if the vote or I mean if the noms stay the same, I think uh, we're gonna see Mackie go home. But if not, we're gonna see something really interesting happen,
Mhm.
which is
So
what
you don't think that Kira is in danger?
I mean. They could be, but it could they're doing a really good job of trying to mitigate what happened before we saw anything on the feeds.
Okay.
Um, they're saying, "Hey, look, I will do 100% my best. I was not in my best state of mind because, like, right after the HOH was won, they were saying that they have no shot at winning this game. I was just really not there
Right
for it.
after Dane won HOH or
Yeah, because there was
okay.
talk of them going on the block, and they were like, "Oh shoot, I'm done. Like I've let the queer community down," and nobody was really there for that. Like they're
Mhm.
like, "Listen, nothing has even happened yet. Can you relax?"
Yeah.
Like, uh, but yeah, they seem to rebound and sort of take in some advice, and it seems to be working. And Mackie seems to be a bigger target
Cool.
because
Good.
because he performed better in the first HOH, which was a pretty telling HOH in terms of like your actual physical ability because they had to do like army crawling and all sorts of
Mhm.
things, and he seemed to do pretty well. So it looks like he's the bigger target right now.
Cool.
But yeah, so I'm rooting for the veto to be used though. I'm rooting for like Mackie to win the veto um and then
Sam to go
Adam
up.
or Sam to go up because there's
I
talk
don't
of
see Adam.
Adam as well.
I don't see Adam going up just because Dane and Adam are BFFs.
Right, right, right. I know that who was it that talked to? Oh, it was one of the four. There's some mutiny going on in the four. Let me find which one it
So
was.
Mackie, not Mackie, Eddie.
No,
No, dang it. Um,
no,
so we have Dane, Adam, Anthony, and the
right,
non-religious Jewish guy.
right. It was. I'm looking at faces. Um, I think it was Mark that was like, "Hey, would you be down to see Sam go up?" And he's like, "Yeah, it would make sense because
So Dane.
yeah, because
Okay.
Adam is falling in love and we can't have that. Like, we need him to work with us and not her, yada yada yada. Boring bro stuff, but
Yeah.
that's the justification
That's good that
of
they're catching up on that, because that's the exact reason why in BB12, the name's escaping me, but with the four guys, you had Hayden and Enzo and
that's the alliance I was talking about.
that's BB12.
Yeah,
Hayden and Enzo and Lane
yeah,
and Matt. The
yeah,
reason why they lasted as long as they did, but even though Matt was the first one evicted out of the four of them, was because they recognized that Hayden and Kristen,
yeah,
Kristen,
yeah.
were getting close.
Hmm.
So then I don't remember how she got out on Rachel's HOH. That's how she ended up getting out. But still, like if she hadn't gotten out, their alliance would have broken up.
Right.
100%. So I'm glad that the other guys are like recognizing that. Now the only thing is that if Dane ends up following through, let's say that veto is won by one of them, or veto is used, and Dane follows through with putting up Sam.
Yeah.
How is this going to affect Adam's gameplay? Like, is he going to stay with the four? Because
I think so. So I think what would happen, I think they seem to be the kind of bros that would like have like a 5 second fight, then hug it out, and talk about how broy they are and have like, I think like it's early enough to where you can kind of nip the problem being Sam in this case, without really any long lasting effects. I don't think um that he's going to be the kind of person that's going to go and cry and light candles for Sam.
cool.
Um,
Okay, good.
so that's the good news. What's interesting is that we have a lot of like super fans in this house.
There are a lot of super fans in this house. It's so
so
exciting.
so about an like 45 minutes before we started the podcast, um, they're trying to get around ways to talk about different production elements or different elements of casting that they want to talk about, um that they want to affect the game, but Big Brother keeps yelling at them, and so they're not able to do it because like um the first week, um what's his name, Damien, was targeted because he said he didn't want to be there earlier, that his girlfriend got him
Signed up
cast.
for it,
Right.
yeah.
And then so that was what ended up, it made people annoyed, and so he ended up being on the block because it's everybody else's dream. Um,
Yeah.
I guess non-binary Kira told the story where they were approached at a bar, um, and told about Big Brother, like kind of recruited,
Yeah.
and um, Steph was trying to. No, it wasn't Steph. It was the one that sounds. These people, they're so hard to.
There's like 4K names this year.
Yeah, it was Sam, I think, that was trying to tell the story where Kira told her that um she was approached by production, and so she was like, so guys, I have to tell you the story, and let's just say a voice in my head, right? Let's just say a voice in my head told me that somebody here met somebody else at a bar, and told them that they would be great for the certain opportunity. Um, and Big Brother was like, Sam, quit talking about production. And Sam was so apologetic because she hates being yelled at by production because she's
Yeah.
watched the show for so long. So she goes into like this 10-minute diatribe that is not even like, it's not like fake at all, where she's like, I'm so sorry. You know,
Oh, I
but
totally get that. Like, I hate getting in trouble. So I don't know if I'd be like that extreme, but like I totally get that feeling that she was probably feeling at that moment.
but Mark was like, listen, we got what you were saying. You just have to drop the story. Like we're reading between the lines. And he goes, "So let me ask you one more question, and now you can't take the story any farther than this, but have you been extremely truthful about the last 5 minutes of conversation?" And Sam goes, "Yes," and then like tries to continue talking. He goes, "No, no, no, just read between the lines. We got you." So
Oh,
the
that's
story
hilarious.
going around is that Kira was approached at the bar where they work at.
Non-binary Kira?
Yeah,
Okay.
um, was because both Kiras are in the LGBT community. Both are
That's right, because
bartenders.
she's bi.
Yeah,
Kiki's bi, which is
yeah,
awesome.
right. So they're both in the LGBT community. They're both bartenders, and they're both named Kira.
Wow.
Um, but
Wow,
yeah,
production, what the hell?
so non-binary Kira was apparently approached by production at the bar they work at and was told about Big Brother. So the theme going into the season is let's get out the people that don't care to be here, which is usually kind of a good strategy to to pretend like you don't care. It would usually be a good
Mhm,
strategy, but
mhm.
apparently not this season. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, that's sort of the angle that's being used to try to get Kira out is because she doesn't even really want to be here. She's one of those dirty recruits. So
Mhm. Which
um,
is funny because, like, the show in the past, like, Paul was a recruit, and
right,
I know that I'm not his biggest advocate, like, from
right,
season 19, but season 18,
right,
he was very, very great.
yeah,
So there's definitely like some really great positives to recruits. There's also I get where if it's filled with a house of super fans, like you would rather have super fans there because they want to be there. Like this is their dream for
yeah,
being there
yeah,
versus recruits where they might have not even heard of the show. So
yeah.
it's kind of that whole like tribal mentality.
They're there to try to get a social media following or whatever. And
Mhm.
um,
Has it been determined if Sam was a recruit?
Sam, Sam for BB20?
No, no.
Oh, I don't know.
From Big
Um,
Brother Canada 7,
I don't
Samantha.
know. I don't. But she sounds like Plur to me.
She really does. But I'm asking because like I got this vibe that she was a recruit, but then
Yeah,
like now like just from what I saw, the very, very minimalist things that I saw preseason,
yeah,
I got this vibe from her being a recruit, but her being inside the house and her like spilling this thing about Kira being non-binary Kira
right,
being a recruit, that kind of makes it seem like, oh, she's
yeah,
not a recruit because
right.
she understands the severity of it.
Yeah, and she's worried about production yelling at her. I think she's actually a fan and a pretty big one.
Okay.
Um, so
Well,
I
that's
mean,
good then.
yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, I'm down for the non like the it's a different sort of strategy than we've seen before. So I mean, I'm kind
Mhm.
of down for the super fans against the recruits. It's an
Mhm.
interesting sort of dynamic because
Yeah.
usually the recruits aren't super fans; they're recruits.
Mhm.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Unless
But
it's like Jessica from BB19, who was a recruit, but she was also a huge super fan.
right. Um, what's really interesting is, and kind of sad for the drama of votes, is that this season the narrative for votes so far and has been the vote is should be unanimous wherever the HOH wants the target to be.
Oh, that's gross.
So that's why we saw the unanimous vote against Laura, and
Well,
we're
I
probably
expected that.
we're probably going to see a unanimous vote for um whoever gets voted out
Unless it's
this week.
Sam,
Right.
and then like I wouldn't expect Adam to vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And then we might have a one vote situation.
mhm.
But so the early part of the game seems to be dictated by like the house wants to work together, but the house is the HOH and they name their target.
Mhm.
And the house kind of falls in line and respects the power structure.
Well, hopefully we'll start to see some like I mean, I know it's early. It's only week 2.
It
So
is,
we have tons of game that's going to be played. So I'm sure that there's going to be like vote flips and I'm sure that there's going to be like 5-4s or 3-4s or whatever. But so it's not the most exciting thing, but it is the very beginning of the game. So fingers
yeah,
crossed it'll change sooner rather
absolutely.
than later. So I don't is there anything else that you want to talk about? We've been
Uh,
like
yeah,
killing
I
it. last hour.
I don't know. We pretty much we've touched on a lot. Do you have a preference this week in terms of who you want to see go?
Honestly, not. I mean, like, I think it'd be kind of cool, just based off of what I've heard from about Mackie or whatever his name is. Like,
Right.
if he went, that'd be cool. Or Sam, not anything against her because she actually seems really wonderful. But
Right.
should just being in that showmance, it'd be really nice to get that out early on.
Right.
Or if Dane could somehow flip and put Adam up there and get him out, I'd be even happier about that. But that's just
Yeah, that would be insane. I would 100% I would 100% be down for that. Let me check Twitter real quick and see if there's anything crazy happening
cool.
that we can talk about. But if not, I think we've talked about pretty much everything. Let me see.
Yeah, I see while you're checking that, like just looking at the future, I think I see us, Jacob. Hopefully, I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully, like getting together during the eviction episode
Yeah,
because my Wednesdays are pretty open right now, which is nice.
yeah.
So fingers crossed on that one. And that's a big night. That's BBCan
Survivor.
and Survivor and the challenge. Like, wait, is the eviction episode? Is it on Wednesday nights?
I think so.
I know that it
Or is
started
it
on
Thursday?
Wednesday. Yeah, because if it's a Thursday, that's like a whole different ball game.
Right. It might be Thursday.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
I think it might be Thursday as the next one because I think we're gonna get veto on Wednesday because the HOH is Sunday, veto Wednesday, eviction Thursday makes the most sense.
Yeah, episode 2 is March 7th, which is oh wait, that was yesterday. The next episode is March 10th, which is Sunday, and the 13th, Wednesday. Haha! Cool,
Ooh.
it's on Wednesday. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing really going on Twitter right now. I think we've pretty much covered it unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Oh, one other thing, blood veto. Conspiracy theory. What do you think it is?
Blood veto. I really, really want it to be something ridiculous where where you have to. What I would love to see in a something called the blood veto is, you get to use it and name a replacement, but it has some negative effect for the person that you use it on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like the thing when I think of blood veto, I think like getting blood on your hands, and I think
Yeah.
okay, you're safe, but here's this thing that
Yeah. I think of a
happens.
sacrifice.
Ooh,
Like, so I honestly, you know what? Okay. What I've
call
seen
your shot.
what I've seen on Reddit is that like the first person who gets blood on their hands gets it, or maybe like in the game, the first person who gets blood on their hands who makes like a big move, they get
Right.
it. Here's what I think though. My conspiracy theory is that whoever gets it gets to use the power of veto, but then they are the replacement nominee.
Oh, do you think they know that when they have the blood veto?
That's see, I don't know about that either. I haven't thought that part through.
Ooh, that would be interesting if they didn't know that. They just thought they had like a veto,
A
with
funky
with
looking
like special
veto.
power, and then they end up on the block because they used it. That'd be really interesting.
So that's my theory, is that because like a blood is like a sacrifice, so you have to give a sacrifice. So you're giving up your own blood,
Right.
so that way this other person can be saved.
Yeah.
And
That seems like showman's bait for me.
yeah, 100%.
Which I'm all for. Like I just like self-cannibalizing showmances need to be a thing. But
So that probably won't happen, but I think that'd be really awesome if that's what the blood veto is.
it'd be great. It would be fantastic. Yeah, the blood veto. I hope they really make something cool out of that room and out of the sponsored lounge area that they had was his face hang out in for 20
Yeah,
minutes.
that Damien hung out in. It's not the brick anymore. It's something
Right.
else.
It's like Harvey's or something, or
Yeah, Leon's. Leon.
Yep.
Mhm.
Harvey's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope they use their sponsorships to the best of their ability because we know there's a lot of them. I'm really glad that there's no Hasbro game segment this season. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't seen HOH yet.
Yeah.
Like, we still don't know if there's going to be a Hasbro game
I
section.
I just hope not. Like I think it's so boring. Like last night they were playing a game in the living room, and I think
Werewolf or something, right?
it was
Or
like
Mafia.
yeah, it's so boring to watch them have fun. Like I hate it. Like it's just not fun. Like
Mhm.
put a rock wall in there, let Rockstar get stuck again. That's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not fun when everybody's like kumbaya and playing games.
Mhm.
It's not great.
And
But
that's why I don't want this whole, like, that's why my response was, ugh, when you said
yeah,
that whoever the HOH wants out, that's what the House is voting for.
yeah.
It's kumbaya, big brother, as Aubrey would say from
Mhm.
Survivor.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's that's it for us for right now.
Yep.
We'll hopefully be back on soon. This podcast is probably this season going to be as consistent as the live feeds.
Mhm.
So we're probably going to be down more than you want, but
We'll
it's
come back. Like, it's not because we don't want to.
yeah. Yeah,
Life
absolutely.
just gets busy.
Life is crazy and busy and yeah. It's been fun. It's been awesome. Stay safe, you guys.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.